Okay. What's up, everybody? I just got back from a barn. The old F-150. Or not a barn, a field. I picked up 3 of these old Briggs & Stratton push mowers. I know nothing about them. Those 2 were in a shed. That was outside. Although these they were originally in a shed. Then they sit outside for 6 months. I'm gonna go over what they are. We're gonna see what we can do to them. So this one here, from what I can tell, when I looked at, they're all 22-inch mowers. This one, okay, there's the coil. Appears to have been dug into. I don't know if that moves or not. It's a Briggs, or it's a Murray 22-inch cut, 4 horsepower. So this motor's a 4 horsepower Briggs & Stratton top. The reason I'm calling them top is because that carburetor. You'll see what I mean. They all have that style of carburetor, every single one of them. This is a yard machine, MTD, 22-inch, 4 horsepower. They're all 4 horsepower. Let's got that cover. I'll get it off in a minute. This one, a little more. I've seen these before. A weed eater. Man, this is the type of carburetor I was talking about. See what I mean? Carburetor, carburetor, carburetor. They all have the same gas tank, carburetor, setup type thing. With this little pop ping here and a little freaking throttle. Hate these, but they're all the same. Built them the same. Dead identical, same parts. Everything to these motors. Everything to these motors are the same. I think even literally, that's got 2 of these, I think, even have the same engine. That's pretty much same engine, just a little bit of a different concept. Pretty sure this was the one that stood outside for its whole career. I think they said this one sit for, I think, 5 years. A couple of these, I don't know how long these set for. He bought those. Dude was kind of a long time. He loved these little push mowers, specifically with that carburetor. I don't like them. He liked them. 3 of them. I don't think had any more of these, actually. He had a couple others, but I just picked these 3 up. He's selling them. He has like 6 push mowers. I think 2 of them, I think he's got 2 new ones that he mows his yard with. He's got one that is a, I'm getting spiders all over me. Push mowers. Where the frick are these spiders coming from? They're in my hat. God. The one of them was in that push mower. They're living in that push mower. Oh, they're all over me. Wonderful. Yeah. Apparently one of the push mowers has spiders living in it, and now they're all making webs on me. Hang on, give me a minute. Okay, so apparently I'm still feeling them all over me. What's that bug spray? Apparently one of those had spiders living in it, and as soon as I picked one of them up, probably, or even looked at one, they all crawled on me. Probably the weed eater, considering that there's literally a spider web coming out of the weed eater. Yeah, that's someone with spiders living in it. Nice. I'll deal with that in a little bit. But yeah, without further ado, like I said, just 3 top post Briggses. All of them unknown condition. None run. I don't know nothing about them. So unload these 3 and pick which one is probably gonna run. I would like to check those tanks, considering that these every one of them, sit outside without a top on them. Don't know why. I don't know if he needed air cleaners or something else, but every single one of them don't have a top on their carburetor. That's scary, meaning there's probably water in those tanks. I'm glad I didn't try to start any of these at the scene, because it probably would have locked up. If those carbs are any good. I doubt they're any good, but those are kind of, I don't know how to rebuild those. Those are more of, I think, I look at these as just being replace. Well, yeah, that bulb ain't gonna break. It would break. Those are more of just a replace. God, one's crawling in my mouth. Spider push mowers. So I'm low. The truck bed. Here's a little bit of a better view. Oh, that's the only thing I did to this thing at the scene. This one had no wheel on it. It's been beat. The back part's off. You know well that this thing was abused. And I mean abused. I mean, it was missing a wheel. The back guard parts tore off. And you know, if either that garter's tore off or that garter's tore off, the thing was beat to snot. And this thing was beat to snot. I can tell. The other ones maybe not so much, but this thing is probably going to be a little bit more of a parts one / maybe running. I don't know. Probably should get these unloaded and get a little bit of a better view from above. Maybe check those tanks and spray a little carb cleaner in them and see if any of them will start. Also notice this one ain't got a recoil on it. So that might be the last one I try to work on. Okay. I wonder if I can unload these on camera. No, I ain't gonna unload these on camera. I'm gonna put down the camera and unload these. Alright. All 3 of them are out. That was a heck of a time getting those out. Really, it was dramatic. All I had to do was pick them up one by one and pull them out. Wasn't that hard. Here they are. The 3 hateable, you either love them or you hate them, Briggs. So, if I'm right, none of these ran. That one's set without a gas cap, and the tank is took apart. Someone tried to leave that running. I stuck a wheel on that one at the scene because it had no wheel. I didn't want to try to have to drag it halfway across 5 acres of land to the back of the truck. And it was enclosed in woods land, so I couldn't pull my truck back there. So I had to push them all onto the back of my truck and load them. So I took a wheel with me off a push mower that is a parts push mower that's sitting, and it blew up, the motor did, but it had a wheel. So I took a wheel off of it. Tell them my wheel is a little bit smaller. It's a Murray wheel, I believe, but it came off a little old Murray. Similar to that, but I think a 20-inch. Stuck on there, now it's got a wheel. I don't know where the 4th wheel for that went. I'm sure there's bigger wheels out there that I can get that'll probably match that. Similar, at least. That wheel's tiny. I was temporarily just so I could roll it around and get it on and off. Out of the in and out, roll it, because I had to roll like 5 acres of land, all of these. That was sitting beside the shed. Those 2 were sitting inside. I'm not so worried about those as much as I was worried about that. So probably without further ado, let's see if we can maybe check these dudes' gas tanks, put a little ether in them, and see if any of them will spit sputter to life. And who knows? I'm not gonna have the gas tank, but check the U. First foremost. Oh, you do have a pull rope. That was broke. Beauty covers. Just see if these even spin over. I don't know if that bar works or not. Spins. This is broken. I don't know how to mess with it either. It should be unlocked. I don't know if the brake's engaged or not. No, it's disengaged. Let's see if you move. Oh, you're a little stiff. Okay, you attempt to spin. You're a little stiff. I don't know if you get any movement out of this because of broken pull rope or recoil. I'll try it anyway. They all spin. That's good. I don't know if the spiders are living that one or not, but all of them are that's skeptical. That one's awful stiff to pull. It's kind of scary. That shouldn't be that stiff to pull. Like it was hard to look. Like what's freed up? Is that water? It came out of the muffler. It's oil. That's inside the engine. That's oil. I mean, water was spitting out of the muffler for some reason, but there is oil in the motor. I don't know why the water's coming out or where the water is. It's probably inside the piston. So I probably need to yank over on that rope without the spark plug in. See if it'll free up the compression. That's got oil. It's not the best looking, but it scared me. I seen Muff pulling out a little rust water shot out of the muffler, and I'm like, this motor might be toast. They gave me parts to get these two running. I really did think that one was toast for a second. It might be toast. That might be why they put it away. It might have got water in it. That motor might be toast. I've been at this for 8 minutes. Part 1. I'm gonna put these in a wheel spinner and see which one gets worked on first. So I'm gonna do that. Alright, so I put them all into a wheel spin. That's getting worked on first. That's getting worked on second. That's gonna be the last one I touch. Mainly also because water shot out of the muffler. I do not want to mess with that. Here first. First thing I probably should check is there water in the fuel? This job just got a lot harder. That is either gasoline or that is water, and I'm not taking chances. Especially since there's such a big quantity of it. And that would burn through a motor and kill it. And I don't know if that carburetor is any good. Probably isn't. It's probably water. I'm not taking chances. If that don't mean probably sit outside for that one. That looks thin enough to be water. Doesn't smell like gasoline coming out of the tank either. That's another reason why I hate these. It's impossible to drain the fuel. Only thing you can do is sit here and rock it back. Till it's all out. Till there's so little it wouldn't hurt the motor. That's all I'm just gonna do till it's all out. Okay, that's enough. I don't think the motor would die of how much is in there. Break, that's a lot of liquid still. hate these top. I hate these. Especially since there's no fuel line. I can't just pull a fuel line and all of it come out. No, you gotta tip the whole mower over. And that appears to be all liquid that wants to come out of it. Well, there's still liquid down in the tank. Good quantity. Not good. Let me just smell it. That's water. That smells of storm cellar water. That's deadly. That's definitely water in that tank. Why did it have to come to this? I don't know how to get that water out other than take the tank and shake the ever-living crap out of it and hopes to God that it all comes out, or drown it over with fuel, because I don't think it's going to pull anything into the motor with how much is in it. So let's push you over, okay, to right here. We're going to see if you'll even attempt the fire. You could be at a fire. You got a choke. It could fire right up and definitely not run. There's no fuel in the tank. And I don't know how to test enough with the carburetors. I don't want to dump good fuel in it and it not run. Let's pull you right here. I'll grab my can of starting fluid. In the shop, grab a can of leftover starting fluid from Dollar General. It's a can of dented up Dollar General starting fluid, and spray it down and just see if you'll pop. I don't want to try to suck any water in the engine because that'd be deadly. I mean, it held water. Don't that go to the tank? Can't I just do that? Oh, you're gonna need to do more of those. I don't think I have another one. Another one of those is going to be needed. I can guarantee you that. Okay, it held ether. Let's just see. Moment of truth, people. I don't have vice grips either. I just put a bit of vice grips on this. Pull one more time, but I don't think it's going to do anything. No, nothing. And that was ether. I want to run another test. How tight's that spark plug? Freaking tight. I'm gonna go grab a spark plug wrench, pull our thing, spray a little ether inside the spark plug hole. Tell me if it's just being reluctant to fire off the carburetor, or if something is really long with the coil. And that's a bumblebee that appears to be mad at me. And my spark plug wrenches are inside. And my spark plug wrenches are inside that garage. And the wasp is mad at me. Beautiful! Waspy's mad at, or Bumblebee's mad at me. And he's hoovering, I don't know, that might be a dirt dauber. I think that's a dirt dauber, or wood dirt dauber or something. Wood. They look just like bumblebees, but probably is it considering that there's wood around. I don't see a hive in here either. Okay. It's either that or it's a 5/8. Just get the big wrench while we're in here. And maybe you don't have to make a second trip. I'm gonna take you down. You know, it would help if I could find the freaking big wrench. Cut that out. Ah! There you are. There. And we got a couple big wrenches. It reverses, like you can see it move when you move the knob. I want to take off you. It is a 13/16. What do you look like? Terrible. That looks bad. Wonder if I could hijack a spark plug out of another engine. See if it'll work any better. I wanted to try. See if this will even just pull over without any. Spark plug. That is this. That's pretty gnarly looking. Doesn't smell very good either. I doubt that was firing. But on with my test. I don't think you were firing. We'll try another plug. That might fit. Yeah, we'll try that plug. I mean, I don't want to take apart motor, see if it's a coil. That's me like this thing burnt oil because that spark plug appears to either be covered in wetness or oil. I think it was an oil burner. I think this motor burnt oil is probably why they put it down. If I heard him right, he said some parts of this came off, or this one specifically came off a lighting line motor. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing's problem. Either that plug's junk or coil's bad. And that means I gotta pull this thing out of the garage and take apart the. And of how wet that's getting, it doesn't appear to be firing. Let's take a plug out of another engine. And the only engine that he said he ever heard run was this. Heard that one run for a couple minutes. He said he heard this one run and actually mowed with it. So I'm betting you money this one has a salvageable plug. How bad do you look? Ugh. That motor is full of water. No one's wonder it didn't seize up when I pulled it. Wonder what comes out of that piston when I yank on the rope. That's great. That spark plug doesn't look any better. Isn't it's covered in rusty water. What about the third one? Does this one look half decent? My God, they all look terrible. Well, this one isn't appearing to be any better. Actually, that might fire. That actually might fire. That one was covered in rusty water. And this one was just covered in oil. If this thing fires up, it's got a good plug. And it's just a bad plug, and I can replace that at the parts store. No biggie. I can replace that at the parts store. Let's just see if it's back. You don't appear to be wanting to run. Missed a little ether in there. Just see if that does anything. Nothing. If this plug's wet, then this coil's junk. It is damp. That coil's probably junk. Okay, it's hot out. Excuse my thinking. It's hot. Well, it feels like 110, something like that. Okay, here's the condition of the motors. I can remember which one's what. Okay. Probably the easiest. Weed eater. Turn up my brightness. My phone's about to go dead. Weed eater. This is its condition. Pretty bad. I believe this one's yard machine, right? Yard machine. Oily. Murray. Probably the best shaped one out of all of them. That's probably the worst. I just pulled their plugs and seen what they looked like. So, that's gonna need a coil, which means I gotta pull that motor cover and either A, pull one off another junk old push mower in hopes it fits, or reset that one, or B, order a coil. And if a coil doesn't work on that and the motor refuses to run, then the motor's shot. And we use this one as parts. Even though it isn't locked up and it has oil. At least I think. This one's got similar to that. That's this motor. There's oil. That has oil, so I wouldn't think it'd be shot. If I had to bet, it's probably just a junk coil. We'll clean those plugs. They're all, I think, the dead identical plug to each other, aren't they? J19LM. I don't know. Maybe different brands. Well, this is Champion. These two are Champion. The one that came out of the yard machine is a Gator. Gator 77305. Bet you money that's not its original plugs. The other two match. Maybe someone tried to get this thing running and failed. I'm gonna go ahead and charge my phone. Look at how much a new coil costs, and maybe go try to drag an old push mower, parts push mower that's either blown up or has died, blown up, or broke a blade, or broke a rod or piston for painting a rock or something, and try to see if I can find another Briggs to pull a coil off of. Because I believe if I get a coil, and I'm probably gonna need a carburetor, considering that just broke. Are you any good? You're broke, but that's gonna need replaced. Probably a new carburetor. Well, they all look like that. They all are cracked. They're all cracked. Probably gonna need 3 of these these top Briggs carburetors. And if I'm right, these things aren't cheap. I think it's like 26 bucks a pop. It's like 90 bucks for just carburetors. Honestly, I'll probably keep that part. Probably just tape it. Super glue or duct tape that back to. That one's pretty bad. That elbow there's pretty worn out. I mean, I might be able to duct tape it back, but I think it just connects. I think that's what gets gas from the tank to the carburetor. So if this ain't good, I'm pretty sure it ain't gonna get gas. Or, you know, just see if they have 3 elbow pieces of these that they can... These, if I'm right, wear out pretty darn easily. They just sun dry rots them and they become junk. Even if that did have gas in it, it wouldn't run. If someone tried to dump a new coil and everything on it and pull it with that water in the tank, the motor would have blew up right there. Or people who were dumb enough would have consumed it as gas. Even though that smelled like, if you've ever smelled inside of a storm cellar, that's what that smelled like. Anyway, my phone's at 2%. I'm gonna call it a day. Maybe come back out here in a couple hours when I go in there and cool off. Check coils online, see how much one cost, and if not, go yank one out of an old junker. One of these, and see if we can get this one to run. I'm gonna go inside and do that. Alright, I'm back. I looked at coils. If you all know a place where I can buy a coil mint, and I'm pretty sure anyone who's watching this has either owned or had a push mower with this style of engine, I'm sure people have had them. 90% sure. Just a coil. I'm having a heck of a time. I'm pretty sure all these coils are it. They're just all 20-something bucks. I don't want to order them. So if anyone has a coil for that style of engine, send me a link to where I can buy one. I really appreciate it. Just, I don't know, just send me a link or put a link in the comments, or I don't know if you can actually, I think you can link in the comments. Send me a link to get one. That'll fit it. But this old Murray motor with the 17 horse opposed twin over here, don't think it'll fit it, but believe that coil, and I know this motor's ran at one point. It blew a head gasket, so it blew a head gasket. This motor's pretty much crap for now. That's why it's missing a tire and all kinds of crap. It was parts. I drove for a little bit, mowed with it for a little bit, and I actually used it for a mower for a while and beat on it afterward. After it blew the head gasket, I just kind of put an air filter cover on it and continued to drive it until it got so bad to the point the motor refused to start. And I knew Bull was getting spark and everything. It was just so wore out, and it's from 1997. The motor's just so wore out and so beat on to the point that it would refuse to start. And it's been rolled and crap. This is all bent. Well, might have locked up. I can get it spent. Oh, there it went. That's the piston. That motor's pretty much shot. I believe it's a couple bolts, and this cover should come off, and I believe I can take one of these coils and maybe just make it work. I'm gonna go try to find the right bolts. How many bolts are here? There's a good few. I think one of them's a Phillips. I'm gonna take that off and take that coil, and we'll push them over part 2 and get that all ready. Alright, so I figured out that coil wasn't gonna work, so I'll show you what I pulled it off of in a minute. But I basically disassembled all the bolts, take cover off. I decided instead of working down here, it'd be better to work up here on the back. I'm telling you, so I'm about 5'7", and everything's at my level here, so I can work on everything right in front of me when I need it. So I took these bolts off, take cover off. Cover is off. That magneto is actually... Oh yeah, the brake. I hate this brake. I need a pair of vice grips to hold on this brake so I can rotate it. There's the brake. The brake does indeed work. I didn't think it would work. I could drill start if I had the socket. Bro, that... I didn't even look at that coil. That coil looks very gnawed up. This is one of those governor models too. Throttle don't even pull the governor. The governor don't even work right. I think you'd manually adjust the governor. And I think when you turn this, it's supposed to adjust the governor. That spring isn't. The spring there isn't springing. I also don't know which way's fast and which way's slow. I don't know how wore out this motor is either, so. I mean, I think I know this motor probably is at low throttle, so what's its placement? That's gonna be full. This one's probably not. Okay. That's probably no throttle. Don't quote me on that, but I guess to figure out when it starts, if it revs up and tries to blow itself up, I'll let off that bar. That's my 1/4. So I bet you don't remove that coil. That's 1/4. I bet you that bolt will fit on there. Yeah, these coils are pretty sure the same. Hard to take coil off this level. So unplug this thing. I might have to go get this. There we go. It's out of the way. Should be able to remove. Usually when you can get these to a certain point of looseness, you can just finger loosen them. This has now became an educational video on how to change a lawnmower coil. Specifically on this style of lawnmower. One bolt. Now this is the governor bolts. That's okay. I'll grab my 8. That's why it would fit. Get mosquitoes. Force can do it. And that governor's coming with it. So undo you. Off with that governor. Mosquitoes are all around me. They're trying to eat me. Off with the coil. That was probably junk. How eaten that wire is. This thing was shot. Here's the coil we just pulled. I want to make sure they match. They match good enough. This one actually came off a motor that ran, but blew up. It came off an old junk pressure washer. Shows the body. Here's the motor. Motor blew up on it. Pump was also going out. And it ran. And this coil was good. Well, I know now it will run if it's a coil. If not, that motor is just utterly shot. And we'll move to the next one. Probably next video. I'd like part 1 to be of getting this thing. Maybe not even to run. But just to see if we can get it anywhere. So our coil. Our wire plugs in there. How to set up a coil. I'm going to go find a piece of sandpaper. So in order to set your coil on your push mower or magneto, I use personally a piece of sandpaper. Can't bolt this up or it won't work. It's probably offset too. This is how to set your coil. I'm going to try to do this the best I can with one hand. Take your coil. You're going to stick this piece of sandpaper, preferably right over the magnet. Just my brake would get out of the way. If you take a piece of metal, it should stick to where that magnet is. In my case, it's back here. Yours could be anywhere else. Take that metal, it should stick right to it, and that's where you need to have your motor start. So, that too. Take this, you're gonna spin your engine to where that's gonna be. There's your magnet. To confirm, right there's your magnet. I can spin that with the brake engaged. There's where you want your thing at. you're gonna take this piece of sandpaper and fit it in between, probably like this, in between that and your coil. This is where the tricky part is. You're gonna push that up against there. It's gonna try to stick to the magnet, so actually you might want to not get right in front of the magnet, but you don't do that right in front of the magnet. I misled you there. Okay, this coil might not fit. Alright, that bolt hole's a little wonka. That might not fit. We're gonna try it anyway. You're gonna push up against it, and you're gonna tighten up your bolts. This is gonna set your coil, and this coil is meant for a smaller base and it's not gonna fit. Crap. I might not have a coil for this motor. You're kidding me, right? Like, look, that bolt hole is further over that way. And this is... Unless I drilled a new hole there and stuck a bolt in, I need that side. This coil isn't going to fit unless I did the governor side only. And that's going to leave it really loose, which is going to cause misfiring. Probably rough running, could cause a fire. Well, you need this side more. Alright, that coil may not work. I might be dumb out of luck. That coil isn't fitting. And I don't think I have any other little scrap motors laying around with a good coil that might actually fit it. I have motors, riders, and crap, but none of those are going to work. That was the only other push motor I had that didn't run. It blew up. I don't think I have any others. I don't, unless I might have just got an idea. So unless this is some different motor, this has the coil I need. That's another one of those type of motors. It's got a coil. I didn't think it had a coil. I forgot all about this old motor. Until just now, and I remembered that this thing existed. From like 10 years ago, my grandparents used it to mow the yard, and the motor blew from hitting a rock. So, unless that coil is shorted out, I should roll this back and see a snake. Why is there no snake? I thought there'd be a snake under that. We're gonna roll you out and trot you back. I need my 1/4 wrench because that coil will work. That might have just saved this project. And that coil better work. Because I didn't even think about that old motor. Alright, I got what I went back there for. Which is a coil. I got what I went back there. I'm going to clean that coil before I put it on there. But I believe, I'm going to make sure before I go clean it, that's going to fit. I believe this should fit. I'm going to clean my turn. I'm going to make sure it fits. Okay, let me make sure. Please fit. It's my only hope. Yes, it fits. Okay, that will fit on there. I'm going to get a water brush and clean that up. And we're going to see if it'll bolt. Alright, now what this part was meant for. How to set a coil. Here's how you're going to do it. Piece of sandpaper. I already went over this part. Take your coil, and you're going to sit it on here. And yeah, you already get this part. I'm just going to do this. Alright, and once that's done, that's how you should. I don't know why mine won't move. My governor, I think, is a little bit too tight. Just loosen you up just a little bit. Free a little. My governor's way too tight. You gotta loosen you a little. It's hard to set, but that quill shouldn't have that much play. I didn't tighten this guy down good enough, did I? Nope. That would be my problem. I didn't tighten this side down with a wrench. I forgot to. This side's supposed to be the super tight side. Okay. Which gives the coil flex to mean I can loosen this guy so the governor can have a little bit of free range to move. This governor bowl, I forgot how loose it has to be. Oh, I'm recording. All right. Our governor is iffy, but it doesn't move anything at this point. It works. I need a plug. I think I'm gonna take the plug out of that engine over there because it looks nicer and I think it'll work. But throw you old junker off to the side. We need to plug in our wire. That way this coil, maybe if this coil will fit, this wire will. Sometimes you need needle noses to plug these things in. Alright, I accidentally quit recording. I believe that's good enough. I can't pull it off by hand. Oh, I just bent it. Okay. Yeah, it's good enough. I'm just gonna keep bending it. But without further ado, let's grab a gator plug. Screw you in the motor. Giving the motor a spark plug back. My phone just hit 5% again. Okay. I'm gonna do this quickly. Put this dang off camera back together and grab a little ether and see if this motor comes to life. Okay, my phone has just now hit 4%. I got it all put back together. I have my doubts that it's gonna run. But I don't want to run it too long. Let's just see what she does, boys. Team mower. Gotta cool it down, sound right. Uh-oh. Something inside that motor ain't sounding right now. Is it the plug? No matter what I do, I'm still not getting fire. I really am clueless on what else to do. That is literally the base of the fire. And unless something internally is junk on the motor, It's about all I can think. That should have, could have, and should have fired right up when I yanked that rope. Or even just a couple pulls. Like, I think something inside this motor is internally. That wire, I think something he has internally wrong. I think inside the motor, some electrical current. I don't know why these mosquitoes bite me. Put spray on, they're flying around me. But they don't want to bite me because I have spray on. Okay. Plug free on this other motor. This plug works. So, it's RJ19. It's one of the plugs for it. Pop a plug in there and see if it will fire this motor up. Because if not, I'm getting kind of clueless. Can't really adjust valves on this thing. It's, I don't know how to. It ain't got the OVH. It's old style Briggs with no valve. Probably should have spread a little ether inside the spark plug. Alright. Let's try you again. This time with another spark plug. Something inside of it isn't working right. Again, refuses to fire. And god dang, I don't know what else to try. Other than taking the motor back apart and resetting the coil. That'd be about the only other thing to try. Is to take back apart the motor, reset the coil, redo the governor. Just, there's really not much left I can do at a home garage. There's really nothing else I can do to this thing. I've tried literally about everything there is to firing. And it seems like nothing I do makes this thing fire. I think I'm going to end this video here. Let me know down in the comments what you think it could be. Maybe tell me. Try to fix, I mean, unless I set the coil wrong, everything should be right. It's got a plug I know works. It has a coil that should work, because unless it's sorted out itself. It's got a coil that should work. It's got a non-locked up motor, oil, a spark plug that works. I'm not sure if it fires. It should. But I don't know what else to try. Other than this will end part 1. Please leave a comment on this video if you know the problem. If some mechanic that's watching this video is out here screaming at their monitor or phone or whatever, TV, that knows the problem, let me know so I can fix it. Because I would really like to hear this yard machine run. And I know the motor's good. It just refuses to fire. The only thing I could do is replace the coil entirely. And if it still wouldn't fire, I don't know. But maybe there's some part to a push motor I'm not sure about. That some mechanic knows. I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys did enjoy. Other than that, we'll be back for part 2 with the Murray. Until maybe I might make a future part when I figure out the problem to this yard machine. Until then, we'll see you guys here again on Simulation for the Nation. Out.